The diner stood quiet, sunlight glinting off freshly cleaned windows. Maya Brooks, a black woman running her grandmother's roadside rest stop, brewed coffee while her Rottweiler dozed loyally at her side. To passing gangs, the place looked like an easy target. Isolated, owner alone, no help for miles. They saw only fragility and opportunity, laughing as they strutted through her door. But what they didn't see was a Marine's training in her stance, calm precision in her eyes, and a partner forged in combat. When their intimidation turned to violence, their mistakes shattered beneath the weight of her deadly resolve. Before we go any further, comment where in the world you are watching from and make sure to subscribe because tomorrow's story is one you don't want to miss. The morning sun streams through the wide windows, casting long shadows across the checkered floor. Maya's hands move in practice circles over the laminate counter, the fresh scent of lemon cleaner mixing with brewing coffee. The familiar routine grounds her, just as it did when she watched her grandmother perform these same morning rituals years ago. Dino's steady breathing behind the counter provides a comforting rhythm to her work. His massive head rests on his paws, but his ears remain alert, tracking every move she makes. The bond between them, forged during their marine days, runs deeper than simple pet and owner. The diner holds so many memories. Maya pauses at the far end of the counter, her hand brushing against a small nick in the surface where her grandmother's wedding ring once caught and scraped the laminate. She'd been mortified at marking her beloved counter, but now Maya treasures that tiny imperfection. It's one of the countless small details that make this place home. "What do you think, boy?" Maya murmurs to Dino. "Going to be a quiet morning?" The Rottweiler's tail thumps once against the floor in response. He understands her tone more than her words, a skill honed through years of training and trust. Maya smiles, remembering how her grandmother had initially been wary of such a powerful dog, but had quickly fallen in love with his gentle nature. The coffee maker gurgles its last drops into the pot, filling the air with rich aromatics. Maya inhales deeply, savoring the scent that always reminded her of pre-dawn preparations with her grandmother. They'd work side by side, sharing comfortable silence as they readied the diner for another day of serving travelers and locals alike. She straightens the metal napkin holders, each one reflecting the strengthening sunlight. The highway outside remains empty for now, though she knows it won't stay that way for long. This stretch of road might be remote, but her diner serves as an essential pit stop for truckers, families on road trips, and locals who appreciate her grandmother's preserved recipes. The menu board behind the counter still features her grandmother's distinctive handwriting. Maya had carefully preserved it, tracing over the fading chalk with fresh strokes each month to maintain the illusion that nothing had changed. The prices have been updated, but the offerings remain the same. Simple, honest food that feeds both body and soul. Moving to the windows, Maya adjusts the blinds to manage the strengthening sunlight. Her reflection catches her eye. She sees traces of her grandmother in her own face now, especially in the determined set of her jaw and the watchful calm in her eyes. The military had shaped her physically, but her grandmother had shaped her spirit. "Coffee's ready, Dino," she announces, pouring herself a cup. The familiar ceramic mug, another inheritance from her grandmother, warms her hands as she takes her first sip. Perfect temperature, perfect strength. Some skills never fade. Behind the counter, Dino's ears suddenly prick forward. A moment later, Maya hears it too. The rumble of an approaching vehicle, followed by the crunch of tires on gravel. The sound is different from her regular customers' vehicles. Heavier, more aggressive somehow. The bell above the door jingles sharply, the usual cheerful sound somehow discordant. 3 men enter, their boots landing heavy and deliberate on the tiled floor. The morning sunlight catches on tattoos, harsh faces, and a glint of metal partially concealed under leather jackets. Maya's combat-trained senses flash immediate warnings. These aren't typical customers looking for breakfast and coffee. Their stance is too wide, their movements too calculated. They spread out slightly as they enter, an unconscious tactical formation that speaks of practice intimidation. The first man's eyes sweep the empty diner before settling on Maya with an intensity that has nothing to do with hunger for food. His lips curl into something that might be trying to pass as for a smile, but comes across as a sneer. The second man moves toward the counter's far end, while the third lets the door swing shut behind him with unnecessary force. Dino remains perfectly still behind the counter, years of training keeping him silent and invisible, for now. Maya feels his presence like a secret weapon, but her face reveals nothing as she maintains her professional demeanor. Her pulse remains steady, her breathing controlled, just as she was trained. "Welcome to Brooks Diner," Maya says evenly, her voice carrying the same pleasant tone she'd use with any customer. But her weight shifts slightly, her stance adjusting unconsciously into one that would allow for quick movements if needed. Her right hand remains relaxed near her coffee cup, but her fingers are ready to signal Dino if necessary. The morning sun continues to stream through the windows, creating a deceptively peaceful atmosphere that contrasts sharply with the mounting tension. The coffee maker gives one last steam release sigh, punctuating the heavy silence that follows Maya's greeting. The lead man takes another step forward, his boots scuffing deliberately against the floor. His eyes never leave Maya's face, studying her with a predatory assessment that makes his intentions clear. The other two men maintain their positions, creating a loose triangle in the dining area that effectively cuts off easy paths to the door. Maya's mind catalogs details with military precision. The bulge of concealed weapons under jackets, the practiced way they move, the silent communication between them that suggests they're used to working together. These aren't random troublemakers. They're organized, coordinated, dangerous. The sense of fresh coffee and lemon cleaners still hang in the air, a jarring reminder of the peaceful morning routine so recently shattered. Behind the counter, Dino remains invisible but ready, his muscles tense and his training primed. Maya keeps her expression neutral, her body language relaxed, but every nerve ending is alert, reading the room, calculating angles, waiting. The lead man slides onto a stool at the counter, his movements deliberately slow and menacing. Maya recognizes him now. Silas Carter, a name whispered with fear in local conversations. The other two spread out further. Ray Johnson, built like a boxer with scarred knuckles, and Duke Miller, younger and twitchy, his eyes darting between Maya and the exits. "What's good here, sweetheart?" Silas asks, his voice carrying a mocking sweetness that makes Maya's skin crawl. He drums his fingers on the counter, clicking against the laminates. "Everything on the menu is fresh," Maya responds professionally, keeping her voice steady. "The coffee is just brewed." Ray lets out a harsh laugh. "Coffee ain't what we interested in." He leans against the far wall, arms crossed, blocking the path to the kitchen door. "Place is awful quiet," Duke adds, moving closer to the front entrance. "No other customers around to interrupt anything." Maya maintains her composed exterior, though her combat-trained mind is mapping escape routes and calculating threats. Her hand stays near her coffee cup, ready to signal Dino if needed. The morning rush hasn't started yet. Silas's smile widens, showing too many teeth. "That's real convenient, isn't it? Just you out here all alone." He glances around the diner with exaggerated interest. "Nice place. Shame if something happened to it." "I'll take your order if you're eating," Maya says firmly. "Otherwise, I'll have to ask you to leave." Ray pushes off the wall, his massive frame casting a shadow across the floor. "That ain't very hospitable. Your grandmother taught you better manners than that, didn't she?" The mention of her grandmother sends a chill down Maya's spine, but she doesn't let it show. These men have been watching, gathering information. This isn't a random stop. Look at her playing tough. Duke snickers, his voice carrying a nervous edge despite his attempt at bravado. Maybe we should teach her how to treat customers right. Silas reaches across the counter trying to grab Maya's wrist. She pulls back smoothly, years of training making the movement appear natural rather than defensive. Don't touch me, she warns, her voice level but firm. Or what? Silas's face hardens, the pretense of civility dropping away. You'll call the cops out here? He laughs, and the sound is empty of humor. Takes them what, 30 minutes to respond? If they bother coming at all. Ray moves closer to the counter, his heavy boots echoing on the tile. Maybe we should order something special, something not on the menu. His eyes roam over Maya and